So in an earlier post, I mentioned that a relationship can be defined by its ability of both partners to give up their self-righteousness. And although you may agree with this, it's something that's not easy to do. So I'm going to give you 4 techniques on how to let go of things from your past or in your relationship. The first one, of course, is finding compassion, and that's the most important. When you can find compassion for your loved one, in other words, seeing their side of it, seeing their point of view, it's going to help you to get over your self-righteousness. It doesn't mean that they're right or you're right. It's just seeing their side of it. That one of the things that means is releasing your need to build evidence and find evidence as to why you're right. The main thing that helps a person get over self-righteousness is love. Love is the only thing that can overcome self-righteousness. That's with small things like a fight or an argument that you're having. With bigger things like resentment or anger that you're holding on to from your past, like your childhood, something that happened with your parents or a longtime friend, is finding the compassion and seeing their point of view. So I've done this with people in all different levels of resentment. So let's look at somebody, for example, who's had a problem. They were beaten as a child, and they're so angry at their partner, it's now hurting them in their life. If you look back to see what was going on in your parents' life at the time that they resorted to doing something, hurting somebody that they love or somebody that they were caring for, what was going on that forced them to do it? What kind of anxiety did they have going? If you look and really get into their shoes at the time that they did this, it's going to help you to find compassion and get over this resentment. Now, that doesn't mean that you are going to, if you're not connected with them, reconnect them. I'm not saying that. The important thing for you is to release the resentment. And if you know why they did what they did, you can get over it. The other thing to know is, I've mentioned this in other pasts too, the weapons that are used against you is what you use on yourself and others. So what that means is, if they were beating you, most probably they were beaten. They were beaten by their parents who were beaten by their parents. If you don't do it, you stop the cycle. That's called evolution. Second technique that you want to do is realize that it's part of your past. And if you know this, you'll realize that it's not positively affecting you in any way right now. Holding on to anger or resentment, you're not in the now when you're doing that. You're just in the past. Third thing is realizing how this experience has positively affected you. If you look at the Taoist philosophy of the yin-yang, I think of it as a 3-dimensional ball. And if you're looking at something very dark that you don't like or a terrible experience, if you turn that ball around, how has it affected you positively, or how will it affect you positively? So in a small argument with somebody, or even a big argument that you have in your relationship, a lot of times people get out the terrible things that they've been thinking or harboring, and it expands the relationship, bringing the two of you closer together. Everything has yin-yang energy, so with everything that's bad, you can somehow find the good of how it is affecting you, which leads to the fourth thing, which is contribution. If you're able to contribute with either the argument that you've had or the terrible things that's happened to you from your past, you'll further be able to let go of the situation. An example of this is how many times the best drug counselors are people who've had the worst drug experiences. People that have the worst things happen to them oftentimes are the ones that help people go through those situations. So you have 4 things. First one is finding compassion. Second one is realizing that it's not a part of you now, that it is a part of your past. Third thing is knowing how the experience has positively affected you. And fourth is how you can contribute with that. The other thing to remember, that the person who is apologizing isn't admitting that they are wrong. What they're doing is supporting the relationship rather than the argument. This and many other techniques are in my book, The Power of Personality Types in Love and Relationship, or on the website, theartofunity.com. I hope this helps you. Good luck.